Hello, both sides of the conversation family. We welcome you to this virtual space crafted especially for you. My name is Jada Curry, and I'm both sides of the conversation's marketing director and graphics design specialist. I want to take some time to ground us all as a community into this space we are about to open up in, so let's go through our community standards. Both sides of the conversation is providing a safe and honest space for open conversation, so we ask that you all be respectful of that. We also ask that you be respectful of each panelist, host, and participant. We do encourage healthy debates and conversations. Don't personalize anything with anyone. This includes name-calling, bullying, trolling, or shaming. This will not be allowed or tolerated. Your perspective is yours. It is not a prescription. You do not have to agree, but show respect. These community standards apply to all of our live shows and any virtual spaces that we hold on social media, including YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. We want to make sure that we are caring for each other as a community. This is our priority in all of our endeavors as both sides of the conversation. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's show and continue to stay in touch with us via YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or all of them. All right, thank you for listening and see you soon.
Welcome, everybody, to Both Sides of the Conversation. I'm John Henry, Executive Director of Both Sides of the Conversation. Today is Sunday, so you know what that means. We're going to have another Sunday conversation as we always do, and I just want to start off by saying I got my twin here. Ayana's here co-hosting, holding it down with the youth today. Pretty Tony, get well soon. We know Tony will be back soon. Community, we still here. I see people texting me, what happened to the show on Thursday? Where y'all at? Unfortunately, our guest had to cancel on Sunday. We sent out the information and the community still called me. But y'all know what? We'll get her back on to get this information to the community, and we'll be moving on to our next show. We're getting close to wrapping up the year, so I know some of y'all that's new tuning in around the middle of the month, we'll be shutting down, giving our team their weekend holiday breaks. We won't have any live, but you'll see us out in the community doing stuff, and we'll be replaying some stuff. But we'll be coming back live strong, hard after the New Year's, okay? So we're not going anywhere. We'll be here. But with that being said, my co-host, Ayana, my twin, what's going on today?
Hey, happy Sunday, community. I'm so happy to be here. Happy to be here with our youth/young adults. We're going to have a great conversation today all about cuffing season. So I want to hear what our youth have to say. I'm excited and I look forward to today.
I want to hear this too because I'm confused. Usually you say you cuff people for a lifetime. You cuff people for a lifetime. It's just for a city. I have to learn something from the youth. Y'all know here at Both Sides of the Conversation, we're about the youth. We want to hear what the youth have to say. Elders in the community, listen to these young folks. You know, we had our man cave conversation. We had what the women want conversation. Now y'all hearing from the youth. They just want cuffing season for the winter. So I guess it's hot girl summer. Wintertime cuffing season. I don't know. We'll figure it out today. We'll let the pixelate it out. But with that being said, the best part about the two Sunday youth shows is we get to listen to the shoot. We don't have to do anything, Ayana, but sit back and help facilitate. With that being said, we're going to start bringing up our youth, and they're going to do our community announcements. They're going to do all of the stuff that needs to be done for community. So we'll bring up Devin and Nia.
What's going on, community? My name is Devin Ward. I'm back again. I'm always here. I want to shout out the Niners. They're winning right now, so it's a good Sunday.
Hey, community. I'm Nia. I'm going to be doing the world announcements. So let's get started. So 1 month from the day Migos rapper Takeoff's life was taken after shots were fired with dozens of people around him, police appear to have solved the puzzle. Police stated that it was tough to put together because all of the witnesses escaped without giving investigators a statement. Houston police revealed on Friday that Patrick Xavier Clark has been charged with murder in the November 1st killing of Takeoff. A 10-year-old Wisconsin boy has been charged as an adult with first-degree reckless homicide after he fatally shot his mother, telling police he was upset she wouldn't let him buy a virtual reality headset on Amazon. The shooting unfolded at 6:50 a.m. November 21st in the 7400 block of North 87th Street in Milwaukee. 3 Black Americans found dead in Mexico Airbnb due to carbon monoxide poisoning. The families of the American tourists are demanding answers and also warning those who plan to travel during the busy holiday season of the potential dangers that could arise while vacationing abroad. The victims are Jordan Marshall and Cortez Hall, both school teachers from New Orleans, and Candace Florence, a business owner in Virginia Beach, Virginia, were found dead in Mexico City apartment they booked on Airbnb in October, according to the Attorney General's Office of Mexico City. The first World Cup to be held in the Middle East is highlighting the region's intense vulnerability to climate change, as host nation Qatar is in the midst of a strong heat wave that new research shows was made more likely by climate change. Daily average temperature ranged between 5 degrees Fahrenheit and 10 degrees Fahrenheit, higher than the historical averages this week. On Sunday, the average temperature in Qatar was 82 degrees Fahrenheit, 10 degrees above the historical average for that date, according to the meteorological site Weather Underground. And here's Kendall for the community announcements.
Hi, community. Nice to see y'all again. I'm going to do the community announcements for today. So we have Feel, F-E-E-L, a collection of writings by authors ages 8 to 18. Wednesday, December 7th, 4:30 to 5:30. City Assessor's Office, City Assessor's Office, San Francisco City Hall. And then after that, we have the Wakanda Winter Wonderland toy giveaway and holiday services, Saturday, December 10th, 12 to 8 p.m. And then it's at the African American Art and Culture Complex. We have, after that, the Bay Area Black Media Holiday Party. That's going to be Friday, December 16th, 6 to 9 p.m. at the Rosemary Jane Oakland Cannabis Dispensary. And then we have the BSOTC Holiday Feed, Feeding the Hungry and Unhoused, Saturday, December 17th, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. And lastly, I have on Sunday, December 18th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Martin Luther King in West Grand, Oakland, California.
All right,
Perfect.
y'all. We're gonna head into the stats of cuffing season. So to get it started, it says that 22% of people aren't sure about monogamy. 18% of people have been in love with more than one person at once. 43% of Gen Z singles suffer from dating-related social anxiety. Case in point, mentions of the word awkward in Tinder bios are up by 8% since the end of 2020. 14% of users on OkCupid say money is very important in a match. And that may be true today. While the number of people who don't prioritize wealth in a partner at all increased by nearly 60% during the pandemic. The percentage of additional matches people get on Hinge when they have a vaccinated displayed on their profile is 30%. 15.9% of Gen Zers identify as LGBTQ, and that's nearly 1 in every 6 people, making this the highest percentage of any generation in U.S. history, compared with 9.1% of millennials and 3.8% of Gen Xers. And when it comes to sex, 30% of people are having more sex than before the pandemic. 36% of people are masturbating more frequently. 25% are using sex toys more often. 52% of singles are less interested in casual sex. And lastly, it's 36% say first day sex is a deal breaker. So with those stats, let's get into the conversation of cuffing season. And let's start by bringing up our guest we have today. I'm going to start off with my boy, Jason. Tell them a little bit about you.
What's up, everybody? Nice to meet y'all.
Next is Taylor Moore.
Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you guys. I'm happy to be here.
And last but not least, a new member to the team, AR.
What's going on, y'all?
What's going on? All right, Nia.
So we're gonna start with, what does cuffing season mean to you guys? What is it? What is it real?
I can go first. I feel like cuffing season for us or for me personally, means when it's starting to get cold outside. It's not summer. John had said something about hot girl summer a couple minutes ago. So it's not hot girl summer no more. It's getting a little colder outside. You know, people want to be booed up. That's cuffing season. People want to wear matching pajamas and do the whole nine for Christmas. I feel that's what I think cuffing season is.
Yeah, I agree. It's that season where you want to be booed up. You know, it's getting cold outside. You want to find you somebody you can get little snuggles with under the blanket. You know, it's that season. It's that time to relax and save outside for when it's warm outside.
I've always looked at cuffing season like that time when you wanted to find someone that was for you. You know, you spend your time, you know, and not even really find somebody that's for you, but kind of lock something down, right? Like you get in a relationship, like, okay, this is exclusive. It's just you and me. You know what I mean? It's not like it's this person and that person and I'm trying to figure it out. It's like cuffing season is like, it's basically like you kind of blocking everything else. You're like, nah, it's just you and me.
Yeah, I feel that.
Go ahead, Nia. No, it's just that time of the year, you know. You just want somebody near you. You know, it might feel cold outside, you know. So, Kendall has said, it's like, you know, the summer is usually people outside a lot. So, you know, around the winter time when it get cold, it don't hurt to have somebody warm next to you.
I feel like this is more of like a situationship season because I'm not getting in a relationship I'm in a relationship now. But, you know, a lot of people, like, they don't see this as a time to get in a relationship. They see this as a time because they want a gift or they want to snuggle or cuddle and be all warm. But at the end of this, in January, they focusing on themselves with a New Year's resolution. So, like, I feel like this is just the time to just, you know, be cuddled up. And then when it comes to January, be like, okay, it was cool. Now I got to focus on myself.
Nah, that's definitely true. With the New Year's resolutions, people start becoming a new man / woman. I was gonna say, to the flip side of this though, some people during cuffing season or during this time period where you feel like you want a gift, some people end up breaking up with their others because they don't want a gift. You know what I mean? They be like, it's Christmas coming up, it's the holidays coming up, I'm trying to save some money, so I'm gonna get up out of cuffing season and go back to my own little personal vibe. So that's another perspective to it.
What all Black say? Quick to free the girl for Christmas.
It sounds like it's gonna be some babies made during cuffing season. This is like a one-hit wonder. I didn't know this was all about. Okay, I'm learning something today.
Is cuffing season limited to the winter time though? Like I've always thought cuffing season was more of a personal thing for you, like because I feel like we used to go out, like, you know, some of my partners when I was a little younger, we used to go out, and if you saw, like, and I'm in a relationship right now too, you know, just put it out there, but like I've always kind of looked at it like your cuffing season is based on where you at in your life and whatever you see around you, right? So I might have just been chilling, doing my thing, hypothetically, right? And then we go out and it's hella work, and I'm just like, well, hold on, now it's cuffing season. Because I'm like, okay, I see something I like that I want for me, right? So I never associated it with summer, winter, fall, spring, right? It was more about where I was at, you know, as an individual and what I wanted for myself. I mean, is that Like, does that make sense, or is it kind of changed? And maybe that was just my own definition. Is it like just a winter thing?
I think that whoever this is right here, October to Valentine's Day, it hit it right on the nail for sure. I feel like kind of social media made it into a certain season. I don't know. It used to be whenever in your life you wanted to get together or whatever and be with a certain person. Now I feel like it's a real season for real. October to Valentine's Day. And they be talking about it on Twitter and Instagram, whatever the case is, which is crazy. But what do you do in March? I don't know.
And they're right, because that's where the gifts come in. October to Valentine's Day.
Y'all talking about them broke boys out there. You know them boys with them bands, boy. They ain't worried about no seasons. Come on. You know, they gonna spend it like they earned it. What did y'all talking about? Y'all heard Lil Wayne? It ain't tricking if you got it. What y'all talking about?
No, that's definitely true. But you got a valid point. I think it kind of does depend on the person though. Like sometimes the cuffing season could just be that time where you're really looking to get into a real relationship and not just, just have several people or date or whatever. It could be that time where you're really looking to build something with yourself and with someone else. So that's true.
So question. So if cuffing season is like a time, right? And that's cool. It's a certain time from you said like this time to like Valentine's Day, right? What does that do socially? Because is there a pressure now? Like, do you look funny if nobody's trying to cuff you, right? Or do you look funny if you can't lock nothing down? Like, what does that do? Like, if it's not individual and it's more of a cultural, social thing, right? Like, what does that do for an individual?
Good question.
Go ahead, Kendall.
No, you good, Tay.
I was just gonna say, I feel like that's a good question. But I feel like when you're by yourself and when you're alone, like that's the time where you're able to do your personal growth. And so you're able to grow personally. So that's the time that people take. But it's also like, I feel like watching cuffing season is just the time when most people are posting and most people are on social media and all of that. So you're feeling lonely. Like in the summer, people are outside with their friends doing whatever they want to do in the streets. But holidays, Valentine's Day, that's when people post it. And that's when you feel lonely because it's like, okay, they're doing that. Like, I just want somebody to, cuddle with, or I want somebody to buy me gifts or somebody to take me out on Valentine's Day.
Okay. So with that being said, since I got some of y'all here in a relationship, what is your idea of a healthy relationship? Like, what does it consist of?
We got crickets.
That's for anybody. So what's the idea of a healthy relationship?
Okay, well, I'll go first then. I think the idea of a healthy relationship is a lot of communication, and just to be open-minded, because a lot of people are one-sided in a relationship. They always think they're right, or they always think the other person is wrong. They're very narcissistic. So I feel that with growing up, communication gets a little bit deeper and you really see where the other person is coming from. And that's what relationship is all about.
Yeah, that's
excuse me, go ahead.
I was gonna say those are valid points, and I agree with you. A healthy relationship kind of consists of giving and giving and taking. I guess what I'm trying to say is you have to compromise with your significant other, but also to be in a healthy relationship, you have to know yourself. You have to know your partner. Your partner has to know yourself, and y'all have to come together to kind of see where both of you guys together can go. It's gonna take both of y'all, not just one.
And I also think that communication is a big part of a healthy relationship. You can't good communication builds trust, right? So if you're not communicating effectively, then it's hard for you to trust the other person. And then that's where kind of holes come in and people can, get in between or whatever the case is, or say certain things because you don't know, there's no communication. So I think that that's a really big part of a healthy relationship. as well as, like Devin said, knowing your partner and knowing what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing, being able to mesh well together.
I like what you guys said about knowing your partner, but like, how deep do you guys go into like knowing your partner? Do you guys look at, like their character, their morals, like what type of family were they raised in? Do those things like spark up for you guys? Because I know, like, as an older adult, because I know you all are younger adults, I look at the person's family in the background, like how that guy treats his mother, or what was that family dynamic about? So are those things that play a factor when you all are choosing to be in a healthy relationship?
I think like with my age group, that's a big thing why they don't work, is because we don't go into that depth. Like, we don't really want to know the person. We go too fast with it, and that's why a lot of times it ends fast, because we really don't know the person. We quick to call the person our girlfriend or something, but we don't know who you are. So I think we do got to start getting to know people, getting to know where they from, more details about them, more details about their family, because a lot of stuff people go through is from family. So, like, we should get to know more about them before we do call them our significant other.
But y'all don't feel bad, because I don't think these adults out here could get it right either. But it sounds like cuffing season ain't healthy. It's not so healthy because it sounds like that's something temporarily. I mean, whenever you say a season on something, it doesn't seem like it's long term. So is that just booty call season then? Booty call from October to February, that we gonna call cuffing season?
It's what Taylor said. It's situationship season. That's exactly what it is.
Okay, so do y'all think that situationship season or cuffing season, whatever, do y'all think that leads into that, or that can lead into a healthy relationship?
No.
I think it can.
No.
Why do y'all think that?
I don't think that, because, and it's kind of speaking on what Devin just said a minute ago about knowing yourself. You can't give what you don't have, right? And so if you don't really know yourself, you go out looking for what you think is good for you, right? And so in that way, it's selfish, right? You want the company, you want somebody laying next to you, you want somebody giving you gifts, right? You want somebody who's going to do something for you, somebody who's doing something for you, right? Oh, it's I'm not lonely now. Oh, I can post pictures too. Oh, we could double date. It's less about what you can offer the other person. A relationship, they say they're 50-50, but I think they're 100-100. You know what I mean? But if you don't do it, if you don't spend enough time, with yourself, you're not really able to give, right? So if you go into a situation, because I didn't been in situationships, right? I mean, I didn't been there, right? You meet the girl and your sparks fly, you think it's cool, but you don't ask the right questions because your intentions weren't right from the jump, right? So then you don't ask about the family, you don't ask about mental health is a real thing, right? You don't ask about how they deal with stress, how they manage their finances, right? If you're gonna spend all your time and you're gonna spend resources on somebody, these are conversations you're gonna have at least at some point, right? How soon somebody thinks they should have it is between them, but when you go into a situation thinking about how someone looks and how they make you feel, it's very selfish, right? And let's just keep real, and it is what it is. Like there's give and take in any relationship, in any healthy relationship, but when it's a situationship, it's like it's not even giving yourself enough space to figure out what you want so you can tell that person, this is what I want. It wouldn't be a situationship if you clearly stated what you wanted, right? And then they have the ability to agree or disagree with that, because at that point, you're just kind of playing games and you just getting the company with it.
I would say I agree and disagree. I think that I don't believe that relationships are always going to be 100-100 or it's always going to be a 50-50. I think you have parts of the relationship that can be 50-50. You have parts of the relationship that can be 75-25. Like, you have parts of the relationship that have like different percentages, but to say a whole relationship is like that, like, you have people who are stay-at-home moms and you have someone who goes out to work. In that area, whoever goes out to work is providing more, but in the other like emotional category, the person who's staying home could be providing more, being a parent, like and all of that things. So to say like it's like 50-50, I believe it was Michelle Obama. She did an interview with Tyler Perry, and it talked about how her and Barack are always compromising, or there's always like, you know, something that one doesn't feel maybe comfortable with, and they sit down and talk about it, and they're compromising. So it's not always going to be 50-50. It's not always going to be 100-100. As long as you're giving your all, like, you know, that's, you know, you have to give effort, but somebody's always going to lack in, you know, effort in one area. And it's not like, it's a constantly evolving, because you're always not going to be the same person you were when the relationship started.
Right. And when I say 100 per 100, that's what I mean. I'm not talking about in terms of counting, you know, counting favors or who did what. I'm saying just giving your best is what I'm saying. You know, giving your best. So, I mean, whether you want to break it up to 50-50, 100, 70-30 here, right? What I'm saying is like just giving your best to another person starts with, you know, knowing yourself and really being able to, I feel like you need to give yourself your best first. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you got to love yourself first. That way you don't need validation for somebody else. You don't need to feel beautiful because they told you. You don't need to feel masculine or manly because she told you, right? It's something that you can do for yourself.
Yeah,
I agree with you too, though.
I agree with what y'all are saying, and kind of leads back to the original question: if a situationship can lead to a healthy relationship. And I feel like if your situationship has those components where you know yourself, where you know yourself and your partner knows themselves, and both of you guys are also on the same page that, like, okay, we're in this stage right now, but maybe we can go somewhere else if we find that we're a match for each other. Like, we can lead into a healthy relationship. So I feel like after it's going to take some work in that situationship to build to a healthy relationship is what I'm trying to say.
And I think that honestly, I thought that the whole point of a situationship, or even like the talking stage or whatever the case is to see, to get to know that person. See, okay, do we want to take those next steps? Do we not go together to where we can't take those next steps? You're supposed to be getting to know that person during that stage, so that either eventually you can, or eventually you can't, or you're not going to. But I feel like the whole point of a situationship, maybe cuffing season, not necessarily, but the talking stage is to be getting to know that person, to see if y'all go together, y'all can give your best to each other.
So I got a question. It kind of relates back to Ayana's question, but what are the questions that y'all ask or have asked or asking now to your partners? Like, what are those questions that you ask to get to know them?
That's a good question. And I feel like Jason said, we lack in that area, because I used to be a simple question asker when I get to know somebody. Like, obviously being in college, I'm asking, oh, what's your major, this, that, to get to know them firsthand, but to get deeper knowledge with them, I couldn't even tell you what I'd be asking. I don't even know.
I'm gonna tell y'all what I'm asking women, okay? I'm gonna ask about the game. Are you bipolar? I want to know, are you nuts? Okay, I want to know, are you delusional? Are you living in fantasy land? I want to.
Oh, hush, John. And they're asking you
Be for real, John.
right back.
Be for real.
Have you got a psyche eval, sir? No, okay. It's okay, twin. It's okay. Go ahead, Nia.
So I personally feel like, I ask, like, tell me about yourself. You know, and that's not super in depth. That's not a whole bunch, but at the same time, it is. I feel like if somebody can tell me about themselves the correct way, tell me, you know, about their family, tell me about, you know, what they want to do with themselves, and articulate it well, and they know themselves enough to really be able to say, okay, this is who I am. That means a lot to me, because most of the time you say, tell me about yourself, and somebody be like, I don't know. What do you want to know? You know, like, I feel like if you can say who you are, that means something. Does that make sense?
You're right, Kendall, because I hate that question, because I don't be knowing what to say.
Yeah, I agree. Some questions that I ask are like, well, I guess I ask questions, but also observe at the same time. Because I was gonna say, like, how do you react if you were to get mad, or I might give them a situationship, or a situation, and I would give them an example, like, what would you do in this situation, or what do you think should have been done? So it's like questions to kind of get deeper into how they think and how their thought process goes to match that to their actions, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like
I do.
I ask questions.
Go
Sorry,
ahead. Yeah.
I feel like I ask questions as I go. Like when a certain situation pops up, then I'd be like, okay, how would you handle that? And I feel like that's how I figure out. Well, that's how I really get to know a person.
You
Yeah.
gotta ask
Question.
about the parents. You gotta ask. Oh, and I think Ayana mentioned that you gotta ask about the relationship with the parents. You know, how's your relationship with your mom? How's your relationship with your dad? How's your relationship with your siblings or whoever raised you, right? Because if they can't respect, their parents, if she can't respect her father, if she can't respect her mother, more than likely she's going to be disrespecting you. And those are my experiences, right? I mean, somebody else can tell a different story and it'll be just as true. But in my experience is the women who didn't have good relationship with their parents, they were disrespectful to me. And I'm not saying I was perfect. Like, I did stuff, but I find that that's like a huge thing. Like just being able to honor your parents, man, just being humble enough to honor your parents. Like as I got a little, I didn't make sense when I was a little younger. I'm 34, so it didn't make sense when I was a little younger. You know what I mean? But now that I got a little older, I'm like, man, I see that. I see the pattern. In that it's just I don't even know what it is psychologically or emotional, but it's just something I noticed. Is relationship with the parents. And I know a lot of people, they don't know their fathers or they only have one parent. And that's hella unfortunate. Right. But it also affects how she views masculinity. Right. It also affects how she views what a man is and what a man should be doing and what he shouldn't be doing. Who is she influenced by when she's looking for a partner? Is she influenced by rappers and entertainers or the dudes outside? Or is she influenced by an uncle or older brother? And not to say if she had a father, he was a good guy, right? And it gets real deep, it does, not to, I ain't gonna get into all that. I'm not a psychologist, but yeah, the parents, that's a
Well, I
real
gotta
thing.
push back because some of these women that have both parents and fathers, they be performative, okay? They still nuts, all right? It don't matter. It's about the person, all right?
I agree
They
with that
might
too,
respect
John.
their parents, but that don't mean they gonna respect you. So, I mean, it's just like when a kid go outside, he good in the house, and he go outside, he pushing people down on the bus, taking their seats, graffitiing on the windows. So, you just gotta really deal with the people. You gotta ask the questions as you go through those scenarios with them, because all of that, I don't agree with it. I mean, I hear you, but I don't agree with it because I'm telling you, it don't matter if you got two parents. It don't matter if you've been involved. People are going to act the way they're going to act with their family, and then they're going to act the way they're going to act in public with other people. So I wouldn't buy that necessarily for a dollar bill.
I disagree though, only because I feel like how people were raised definitely impacts the way that they go through life. Now, obviously, certain stuff is you're grown, you can make your own decisions. What your mama taught you don't necessarily mean that that's true, and we know that. But at the same time, small things in how you were raised in the household goes a long way. You see that in college. Clearly, people are not all raised the same and don't know certain stuff. Common sense is not common. So I think that the way you're raised and asking about your childhood and your parents' relationships to you and all that is important, because then they can bring that into their adulthood. They may not be the type of person, that's not always true, they may not be the type of person that brings it into a relationship or to their adulthood, but I'm gonna say 6 times out of 10 it is.
So do we blame all the young women out there that can't cook because they didn't have it in their homes? Do we blame the combative and all of that stuff that be happening? Do we blame that, or do we say people take their own action? Because I need to know this stuff.
I think it's both. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it depends on the person. Honestly, that's the type of thing that's like, okay, if a person is easily influenced, then maybe they bring it into their adulthood, or they're stuck in their ways, then maybe they bring it into adulthood. But if the person has kind of their, not necessarily their own mind, but they're easily curious, or they build their own ideas, stuff like that, I think it just depends on the person.
To answer the question that Devin had asked, I think what I would ask, like my first thing to ask somebody after like I figure out, okay, maybe I might be interested into this person, I'm gonna ask them like, what does your day-to-day life look like? Because I know I'm a busy person. I know I might get up at 6:30 every day, and I get back home at maybe 10 o'clock at night. And so are you going to be understanding? Because 9 times out of 10, if someone is not, a busy person, they're not going to understand that I'm not going to be on the phone with you all the time, or I'm not going to be able to text you all the time. I'll text you where I'm going, but after that, I'm not on my phone. I have other things to do. So like that's really, because that's been my struggle, I think, with other people. And I felt like I finally found somebody who like understands that I got things to do. I got, bills to pay, got to go to my job and all of that. So just people understanding that, your day-to-day life. So yeah, that was mine.
And you
Taylor, are you a dating coach? Because you talk like a marriage coach. Are you a dating coach?
Ever since she found her man.
That my man all the way till I die.
I think Taylor learned this from her parents in the house. Okay, y'all. We give y'all one today.
Wait a minute, John. Now that actually goes both ways, John. When it comes to, women, having different baggage and issues, it goes for men as well. But that's why it's so important, again, to know the family and then to see what was that dynamic even like? How did they deal with issues? Because you know how when you deal with that person, you can kind of see how they'll deal with issues with you. But then also life brings on different issues and challenges. And so those are times where sometimes the home values kind of go out the windows at times. So it's just really just taking it day by day and really getting to know the person, John Henry. Okay.
Yeah,
and it is very important to really get to know the family. It is.
To piggyback off of that, especially for like the youth, when you judge kind of how they treat their parents in the youth stage, I feel like it's a little different because, there's still some people like from 17, I'd say like, I don't know, 23 until you're really like a stable grown adult. They still have those kind of like battles with their parents that they wouldn't necessarily have if they weren't in that stage of life. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just kind of important to put that into perspective. Like I know some people like in high school, they really rebelled their parents, but as they grew older, they grew to understand like the reasons why they did certain things and the reasons why the child did certain things. So I just think that's a important perspective to add to that.
What y'all think about zodiacs? Y'all think zodiac signs play a role in any of this?
No, I don't. No, I didn't mean to say it like that. I just feel like you cannot tell me that my relationship failed because I'm Gemini. You can't.
I could have told you. So you said Gemini. It's a wrap.
Yeah, I feel like.
Sorry, I was just gonna say it's crazy too because I'm Gemini and they be saying we got two sides or whatever, and I'll be like I'm Gemini and they'll be like, oh my God, you this, you that, you don't know me, like that's how I feel about that.
I have to go with the masses, okay? Geminis, I don't know if they coming or going.
I feel like getting into a relationship, that's something you guys have to talk about beforehand because a lot of people don't believe in that stuff. Like me, I really don't believe in that stuff like that. So if I'm with somebody and they do believe in stuff like that, I'm sorry. I don't know. It's just not gonna work certain times. So they like, you act like that because you're Aries. Like I'm not. Like I don't know. So that's something you have to disclose before the relationship.
That's real because Jason, I know. As soon as you tell me you're a Pisces, oh my God. Then it's just everything. Oh, you a Pisces? You did this because you're a Pisces. Like, bro, you have to get to know me first before you can just judge me because I'm a Pisces. Now I may have some of the tendencies, but I'm not full on Pisces, and I just don't think that that's fair to assume. So, and to give a real life example, I was talking to this girl who was big. She got the rock. She looked at the sky with the moon, and she compares that to your zodiac sign and how you feel during certain times of the year. And for me, it's just not gonna work. It's too much. It's just too much. It's too much. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. She's too deep. But what I would say from my experience, I realized that there's certain signs that I am a more compatible match with. So like, for example, my son's father is born in December. He's December 18th. And then my ex-boyfriend after him was December 11th. They were both hell. My current boyfriend is November 24th, and then my ex, look, I sound crazy. My ex before that was November like 25th or something like that. Amazing relationship. So all I'm saying is just pay attention to the dynamics of when you date someone that has your compatible sign. Because for me, I don't know, it's just December people. Get them out of here. No, thank you. They're
It
crazy.
sounds like my co-host been through a few cuffing seasons, y'all.
Excuse me, what did you say? That
If
was
I
always
was-
for
I
people.
wouldn't let him say that. I wouldn't
I'm
let it slide.
41, so I'm fine. Okay.
Me personally, I wouldn't let it slide, Miss Ayana.
I'll get him on the back end. I'll get him. Thank you, Kendall, for having my back. I'll get John.
I feel like I have not. I only believe in zodiac signs when it comes to my zodiac sign, because people have constantly said that like my zodiac sign are probably one of the best people that I've ever met. So therefore, and I'm a Taurus, and so therefore, and I've noticed that like I've met other Tauruses and click well with them. They're genuine people. Most of them are genuine people. And I don't have a problem with my zodiac sign. Now, I will say them December Sagittariuses are crazy. So I understand where you're coming from. But
Insane. Yeah,
I also do think that things can like go hand in hand. Like I'll be like, okay, this person is stubborn. Okay, this person is stubborn and they not a Taurus. So I'm like, it can go either way.
I will.
It has to be true.
Go ahead.
It has to be true because Geminis, I have never got along with any Geminis but Kendall, and me and her bump heads sometimes. So it something has to be true about signs and stuff, because like me and Geminis, we just don't get along, and it's okay with me. I understand.
Here's the thing. Every time that I argue with whatever sign Jason is, it's because he starts it. So I'm just gonna leave it at that before y'all attack the Gemini's next question. But it's always something that he starts, that he does, that make him want to leave at 4 o'clock in the morning with Nia. All right.
Jason,
So Kendall. Go ahead, Ayana.
Jason, we need to know, what is your zodiac sign? She put you out.
Pisces.
Y'all can't tell.
Pisces. So Kendall, what's your twin name?
You got jokes. Actually, my twin name is Kalia, if y'all don't know. I feel like me and everybody in my friend group, we all actually have separate names. It's funny, but my twin name is Kalia. Thank you.
Hey,
Well,
y'all,
there's only
what you
one
think
perfect
about?
sign out there, and that is Leo. So we get along with everybody.
Hey, y'all, what was your perspective on the zodiac signs?
So I didn't really think it was true until about 7 months ago, actually. I was always taught that they were, you shouldn't believe in them, but somebody told me something about myself one time. And then I said, well, if it's true, let me go, and it should be something on the internet that's documenting this. That's kind of how I am. I like to research stuff, So I went and looked, and I saw a lot of similarities with the description I read about. I'm a Scorpio, like the description I read about myself, right? And then I said, well, if it's true for me, why wouldn't it be true for other people? And so I started looking for, patterns of, behavior, and I would go and read it and see, because I don't think everything you read about someone, because I kind of believe in it. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it kind of sounds that way, and I do, right? But I don't think that we're limited to what other people say we are either, though, at the same time. But I do think there's like traces of it in there, though. And so like I started basing who I was going on dates, as far as dating, I started basing it on who it said I was compatible with. Right. And the worst relationship I've ever had, was with a Gemini / Taurus. The worst relationship I've ever had. Right. And so
I'm sorry, what does that mean?
She was like born on the cusp. You know how they say they on the cusp, right? She was like both. And it was the worst. And
not both.
Yeah, but look, I looked it up. And the thing is, right, while while her childhood did affect how she was, so I took into, account, right, that she grew up a certain way and she, had her issues that she was, working her way through. Right. I also looked at the just obvious traits of what I researched, and it was a disaster. And so I limited I said, well, let me try limiting myself to the top 3 I was the most compatible with. And it's been working for me, so I was just curious what y'all thought.
Do you feel like what if your wife, the person, your soulmate, everything is a Gemini? Like, what do you feel like you're limiting yourself to a certain group, and you really could find somebody that's in that group that just doesn't act like the Gemini you was with?
Well, I'll say this first. My best friend, one of my best friends, that's a girl. She's a Gemini. We've been friends since I was like 14. So it's possible, to get along well with people who, quote unquote, you are compatible with, right? As far as signs, right? I think it's possible, but I haven't done it yet. And my best relationships, I noted it. My best relationships were with the signs that I was supposedly most compatible with. It was Pisces, Virgo, right? My best relationships were with Pisces and Virgos, right? My best friend's a Pisces. My sister, we held it tight. She's a Pisces, all right? So I just look at the pattern. I'm just kind of like, well, I don't know.
Well, keep living, young man. You'll get to a few of those signs before you get up there in age. Like Tyrese say, every sign has something special to deliver. Just keep living. You'll run across them. You'll find out in due time. All right. We got to move this conversation on, y'all. This is our youth conversation. People tune in. What is they talking about, son? Listen, we're talking about cuffing season. The young folks are talking about their point of view of love. We had the adults. We had the men's cave. We had what do women want. Now we got the young people talking about cuffing season. So to the young people, what do y'all feel? Y'all think in young people relationships that y'all have to do, or elder people could do to keep the spark in a relationship? Because if it's just cuffing season, how do you keep that spark after cuffing season and before you get to hot girl summer and all that?
I think that's one of the hard things for the youth, is because, we always on social media. It's especially if you're in college too, but it's always some temptation, I guess I could say. So it's always like, well, if she lacking this area, I could find this in somebody else in a better area. Did I say that right? Yeah. If she lacking this area, I could find that lack in somebody else better. Basically, what I'm trying to say. And to keep the spark alive, it's kind of hard. You got to continue to, at least from my personal experience, I think you have to continue to date that person. Like, continue to try to find new things that you like about them. Continue to try to grow with them. Continue to take them out. Continue to spice things up, change things up, even in the bedroom. Like, it's when things get constant and complacent and like the same thing, it's like repetitive. That's when it starts to get boring. So I think that's the best way to do it. But it's hard for us because everything we have is instant. You know what I mean? It takes some work.
So, Devin, are you looking for other things to spice up the bedroom? Are you in Pandora's box, Devin?
I ain't in that box, but
and that be y'all problem. Y'all gotta stop laughing like that. That be y'all problem. Y'all be getting bored too easily. And y'all be looking for new other people, and y'all don't be trying to fix what you already got.
Yeah, I can speak on that. I'm in a long distance relationship, and like we're constantly trying to sorry, his face. We're constantly trying to like keep things like spicy or whatever you want to call it. We're constantly trying to keep things, interesting. Like if we can't watch movies together, we're gonna be like, okay, 1, 2, 3, okay, press play. And then like things like that. Constantly like, just playing games or just things that I would do if I was in person, but like just trying to find things like that. So you need to constantly just do things that you would do when you're dating someone. So, because you can't, now all of a sudden we're in a relationship, like we're going to stop going on dates. All of a sudden we're in a relationship, we're going to stop, doing picnics. We're going to stop doing all of these things. You need to make sure you're continuing to doing those things, as well as, you know, to each his own. But if you're in the bedroom and you're doing the same exact tricks that you was doing last time or when we first started dating, then it's 9 times out of 10, it's not going to work. Just because you got to be able to keep things, you know, spicing and keep things changing, because if that's for me, I can't choose. When I choosing a job, I don't want to go to a job where it's the exact same thing every day. I want to go to a job where, okay, I might have different people. I might interact with different people every day, because if you're doing, you know, okay, I'm waking up, fixing the coffee or then going to work and then coming back, we going to sleep. And then that's just like routine. And then people get bored with routines.
So I got to learn a little bit more about this long distance relationship stuff, Taylor. So you can help educate me, because I'm like, do you FaceTime and Duo, then WhatsApp? Like, do you play bingo or what? You play Uno? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, FaceTime, that's majority of the time. But also, like, you know, you got to have somebody who is stable enough to where they can, you know, fly out, or you can go out there. That's important in the long distance relationship. Yeah. So yeah, just making sure you're open to new things. Actually, like, you also have to be like, okay, I didn't do this in my last relationship, but I might, you know, might do in this relationship, because, you know, obviously the circumstances are different.
All right, ladies, all the adults out there, listen to the young people. Taylor said, keep it spicy. Try something new. You might get a better reaction and get out of cuffing season. All right, on to the next question, Nia.
Oh, wait, real quick, though. They in the comments talking about we supposed to be in the living room and everything else. So we have a show coming up. I don't know how many shows is in between. Anyways, I don't know how many shows is in between, but it's Are Youth Exposed to Sex Too Soon? So I'm going to plug that in. Y'all watch that. Okay, keep going.
And to all the adults out there watching, okay, these are young people, but they are young adults. They are in college, okay? These are not middle school kids that we're talking to today, okay? These are all adults. They pay their bills, okay? So they can talk about what they want to talk about. We want to make a space for our young people to feel comfortable. So all you moms out there, dads watching, either pay attention or don't say nothing. Leave the babies alone. They talking.
And to let y'all know, the living room don't stop nothing. I'm going to just watch your kids. Okay. Anyway. I want to jump the boat, and I want to go to a whole different question. So the youth have a lot of issues with cheating nowadays. Like, some people have different definitions of cheating. So I want to know how y'all define cheating.
Any type of attention, making somebody feel any special. No, I should be feeling the only type of attention, specialty, anything like that. It's a no, because you wouldn't like it if I did it. And just like, I don't want nobody feeling how I feel when I'm with you or I'm with you. That's just me personally.
Jay-Zah, you sound like Tina. She can't go nowhere. She can't post nothing on you Ike stuff, man. She can't do nothing, huh?
Not like that with like social media, but it's just like making somebody feel more like any dude she texting, like, or even talking to, like, if you give them any type of gesture that they more than a friend or they more than a conversation, it's just ain't because he taking it that way. It's like some females, they just come off flirtatious, or, you know, they just very flirty.
All right, so I know
you just pinch him on the cheek and say, it's gonna be okay, baby.
I know I had seen something on TikTok a couple days ago, and it was like Caribbean people, they said they can't date outside of their race because you can't get mad if I'm grinding on somebody at the party or something like that. So how do y'all feel about that? Dancing at parties, doing this and that?
I got a lot to say about this one, only because I feel like in the Bay Area, a dance is just a dance. You know, like when you yiking or whatever the case is, I feel like a dance is just a dance most of the time. But then when I came to New Orleans, they swore they must go out. That must be his girlfriend. They must, you know, that's a thing. Now we finding stuff out. Ooh, that's, you know, I didn't know they went out, whatever the case is. That's not, I feel like a dance in some cases can just be a dance, personally.
I agree with you, but I think it kind of depends on the relationship that you're in. So, like, say that you're in a situationship or this cuffing season situationship, and y'all haven't even established those boundaries of what you feel like is cheating and what you feel like isn't, or whether you feel like a dance is cheating or not, or whatever, or disloyal. Um, so I think, yeah, I think it's a conversation to be had. But also, I feel like if you're in a relationship, like a full on relationship, and you're dancing, whining with, yiking with somebody else, that's pretty disloyal in a relationship.
I
But
think
also,
that's cheating. I think that's cheating. I
I
think that's
think
cheating.
I don't think that's cheating though.
I think
Because
it's disrespectful. I think it's
exactly. I think
disrespectful.
disrespectful. I think it's
No.
just low. But cheating to me is sexual intercourse with another person. So
So kissing and
What
cheating.
about dates? But
that's
now, what
sexual
about dates?
intercourse. That's to me personally. That's what cheating is. And I do think that also people can cheat emotionally, and that's a whole different topic. But to me, that's what cheating is.
And
So
to back it up,
during cuffing season, is the cheating clause on or is the cheating clause off in cuffing season?
when you're not in a relationship, you're not in a relationship. There's no cheating clause. I feel like if you are for real, if you are not in a relationship, you are single.
My mama
I
used to always say, "You single until you married." Is that still true for the young people?
No, if I'm in a relationship and it's committed and we've had that conversation, okay, we're not talking to other people, we are committed to our relationship, then you can cheat on that person if that is your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whatever the case is. And also backing up what I said earlier, if you're in a relationship, dancing is absolutely cheating. Absolutely. I meant more if you're not in a relationship and you're dancing with somebody at a party, that doesn't have to mean anything, but for sure, dancing is cheating.
Yeah, dancing, I would say definitely is cheating because if me and my man are at the same party and you're dancing with another girl, then I'm feeling disrespected because I'm like, you have me in this party watching you grind and do all this on somebody else, then that's very disrespectful. Especially, and even if you're in a situationship and y'all establish that y'all only talking to each other, you shouldn't be doing that because it's like, okay, now is it okay if I go do the same thing? Because I feel like there's always a double standard. Like men, from personal experience, they'll go out and do whatever they want, dance with all these girls. And as soon as a girl starts to do it, then it's like, okay, she's a hoe, she's this, she's that. But men are so quick to talk to other girls, hang out with other girls, and then as soon as a girl starts to do it, it's like all these problems.
Taylor got the hot grits going on. Be careful out there with the knife in the back. Don't be grinding. We're gonna tell your friend on long distance, don't be grinding, okay? But one other question I have, I think is an important question to ask the young people. For relationships, do y'all value the boundaries of the when you have those conversations about exclusiveness, and where y'all perspective at is that? Because I think if you say cuffing season, to me, from what I heard earlier, it's really not a commitment, it's just a fun time. So how do y'all have those boundaries and those conversations when you move forward outside of cuffing season?
I think that those conversations should have been had during the situationship, while you're getting to know that person. Even if you're saying, okay, this is not a right now, this is more of a hypothetical, the conversation still should be had. It's not moving too fast. It's just knowing the person that you're with.
I agree too. And like to add on to that, it's more like not even just, I guess, like the relationships that your partner has with other people, like who they tend to be around, how they tend to interact with them. Those type of things are important to have too, because if you have a friendly partner and you're thinking she's just this closed off girl in her room all the time and she's not, then and y'all didn't have that conversation, that's gonna bring up an issue within y'all situationship or whatever. So it's just it's setting the boundaries and knowing what you're okay with and having those conversations that can limit problems.
So I guess before y'all get in cuffing season, do y'all think religion plays a big part in y'all cuffing season? Like if somebody don't believe in what you believe in, are you gonna go to cuffing season with them? Are you not?
I think for me personally, I think religion does play a big part, or not even so much religion because everybody doesn't have religious beliefs. But like me, I believe in God. So if you don't believe in God, we might not work. Because I pray. I pray every time before I eat. I pray before I go to sleep most nights. And really I just wouldn't feel comfortable laying up with somebody who don't believe in God. So I think it does play a big part.
For cuffing season, I wouldn't probably like what their religion is. I wouldn't probably take in consideration just because I know for me cuffing season is gonna be temporary, but like a real relationship, I will take that in consideration.
So can I ask y'all a question? During cuffing season, will y'all have non-disclosures? I mean, what does that look like? How do you apply for cuffing season? Do you just tell them we just together till February? Like, how does that work from the young people perspective? Because I want to learn this stuff. Y'all got all the answers. So do y'all just walk up to somebody and say, you know what? I want you for cuffing season. I want you to sign this non-disclosure and we just go be cool until February. Is that how it works? I mean, y'all give me some game. How that work?
I feel like with a lot of young people, it's kind of like a secret connection we have. We know it's not going to be nothing more than what it is right now. So I wouldn't even say so much as the length of the situation, but just the extent of it. We know if we go together or if we don't. Like y'all had said a couple shows ago, they're gonna be on the roster, but it might not be. They might not win a game. So.
And and somebody could really be during cuffing season. That could just be your favorite person on the roster. That could just be the top spot. That's not me personally, but I've talked to other people that say they still keep their rosters. That person just has the top spot, which is insane. I hate our generation. Lord knows.
So what's the roster? Y'all got to educate. What's the roster? Y'all talking about an NFL team, a basketball team, baseball team, a track team? What's the roster? Y'all got to educate. I'm old. All right. I'm 43 years old. I don't know all of this stuff. Y'all got to educate me.
It's where you keep your lineup, basically the people you talk to, you keep them in an order from probably, I know most of my partners or friends, they keep it from, least to best, who they like more, who they like least, or, who winning right now, that's just how it is right now in my generation.
Yeah, that's
I'm educated today. I've learned something today. Okay, John Henry, start a roster. Put the favorite at the top and all the letters on the bottom. All right, good game. I'll take it.
And I think it is. I think it is a conversation that it's like you ask them. So what are you looking for? Like, what are you looking to get out of this? Like, what are your intentions? And that kind of shows you. Like some people might say, I'm just looking for a vibe right now, equals cuffing season. I'm just looking for. They might say, I'm just looking for a good time right now. That's cuffing season. Some might say, I'm looking to get married. That's not cuffing season. Like, it's clear. It's clear boundaries between this. So it's like it kind of is a secret society thing, but like at the same time, when what the other person's intent what they say their intentions are. So you should know that about a conversation you have with them.
I completely agree.
You gotta watch out, Devin. As you get a little older, you gotta watch out for these cougars. They very tricky. They got magic. They know how to finesse you. You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful, Devin. They gonna finesse you.
I'm already knowing they be trying. But I had another question to ask. It's back to the religion question. We was talking about this last week. Somebody I know that they're in, I don't want to say atheist, but it's like a branch of atheism. And they were asking, would it be a problem if you got into a relationship with someone who's atheist and you guys have kids together and you raise that kid? Are you supposed to raise them atheist? Are you supposed to raise them with the other religion, what the other partner is? Are you supposed to give the kid your option to choose their own religion? Like, how would that work?
I think. Sorry, Nee, you go.
I feel like that's a conversation to be had once the kid gets of age, and that's really going to be. It really should be their decision. But I know some people, grew up in church, so honestly, I don't know. That's a conversation to be had. I don't know.
It sounds
Yeah,
like a lot of conversations to be had, but we have all these filters, Nia. So it means people are not communicating, okay? And we got a lot of problems out here. So conversations is not happening.
yeah,
So
that's
I'm
something.
not having these problems.
No, for real. I feel like, yeah, me personally, I'm praying over my relationship right when I get in the relationship. Like, that's the first thing we do. As soon as you ask me to be your girlfriend, we're going to sit here and we're going to pray over this relationship. But that's me. And so if I can't pray over the relationship, then therefore there's no relationship.
Yeah, and back to the question that you asked, Devin, as far as the children, that's why I feel like I couldn't marry and have kids with somebody that doesn't respect my religion. Because you're not gonna tell me I can't bring my kids to church and they can't wear the Easter socks and be up on the church. You can't tell me that's not gonna happen. So I feel it's certain stuff like that. If he is a different religion, okay, and we just don't talk about that part. But I take my kids to church. He doesn't disrespect my religion. Okay, maybe I could be okay with it. But I think if somebody used, when we had this conversation, I don't want to say a quiet, like a somebody that's a quiet, whatever religion they are. I don't want to say that because I don't want to, discredit their religion. But just don't be combative with how I want to raise my children. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. But do you feel like you should go? It kind of goes both ways with your religion. Should you not combat the atheist views in a way, or no?
I think that's why in turn I decided that I probably should have, somebody that believes the same things I believe, so I don't have to do that.
Respect.
Yeah, I think I'll agree with Kendall about that. I think so. I just my mind is made up on date a Christian woman, because it's like we're gonna pray at dinner, we're gonna do all these things, and I just don't even want the conversation coming up because there's no way I'm gonna turn against it.
That's really what my thing is. Turning it's not like you're gonna change my mind. And at the end of the day, it's really supposed to be, for me, God, relationship, and then everything else. I feel like regardless, God should be over the relationship, because then, like Taylor said, he can bless the relationship, right? Like she said, she praying over her relationship to make sure that he has his hand on it. So his hand can't be on it if we're not praying over the relationship, or we're not following what his teaching says. So that's okay. I'm done with all that. But that's how I feel about that one.
But what about all the failed relationships? People who pray, go to church, and then it doesn't work. What do y'all say about that?
It wasn't meant for you. I like sometimes people be like, that's a big thing I hear about a lot of times. Like people like, oh, I prayed about it, or I did this. Just every relationship you get into not gonna be meant for you. Some of them, I think everyone we get into is meant to teach us something about ourselves, teach us something about something we want in our next one. But every one of them is not meant for us to stay in. I think they're all a lesson until we get to that final one.
I think it's easy though to give up though too quick though. Also, I think a lot of times, we can over spiritualize things, right? Like, oh, I prayed about it and they believe and we went to church, and that might not be the case. Sometimes it's just the person wasn't willing to mature emotionally. Sometimes the person had trauma they didn't want to deal with, and they brought it into every relationship, and they keep blaming everybody else, and they don't want to do the work. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you could walk yourself right out of a blessing.
You better say that, brother AR. I hear you. And it's so true. And it's just like sometimes when things don't go according to God's plan, he does remove it. And that's why prayer is so important. But like you said, we will literally ruin a good thing. And that's why it's so important to know that whenever we find a good thing, to cherish it and really hone in and really work at it.
Yeah, I agree. So quick question, switching gears a little bit. What are some of y'all, I'm not going to say red flags because we talk about this all the time, but kind of when you're getting to know somebody, something that they'll say or do and something that's just like, okay, next topic, next person. What do y'all think?
For the youth, a little bit for me as well. I think it's like sometimes I could judge your social media presence on how you act on social media versus how you act in person. and versus how you act just like around a group of people, some of those actions could be red flaggish, I guess, to say to me.
That's facts. And me, Devin, and Kendall was just talking about this too. If you're taking our problems on social media, that is a red flag. I'm not dealing with you after that.
I mean, I should know that y'all beefing. Why you put me in your business? Like, why am I in your business every 5 days? I should know that. And for me, I have a couple. One would be not being able to communicate. You don't tip when you go out. That I can't stand that. You don't tip. You don't care about tipping. That irritates me. And y'all laughing, and I'm so serious. And let's see, you don't tip. And I had a third one. I can't remember. I can't bring you nowhere. You don't know how to act in front of other people. We good. We can communicate. We mesh really well. And then I bring you out, and you don't know how to act. That's ridiculous to me. We're too old.
Or just blame it on the Henny. Sometimes it be the Henny. It don't be me. I just be, the Henny have it.
That's John Henry, not John Henry.
Well, I think I want to shift this conversation for cuffing season. I want to get deeper into it. Really, is cuffing season love at first sight? Do y'all just like see somebody and say this is cuffing season at first sight? Is that how y'all do it, or what? Because I'm trying to get it a little bit more tied into this cuffing season thing. So is it like love at first sight, and then after 3 months you just let it go? Like, what is it?
Cuffing season at first sight is crazy, but that's funny that you said that. I don't think it's really like that. I mean, I think if you see somebody and you be like, oh, they look good, you just keep a mental note if you want to keep them around or not. That's how I think about it.
Yeah, I don't. Go ahead, Jake.
Like I was like earlier, I think cuffing season just come from the roster for me. I just pick one person, that's been, the person all year, and see how the holidays make us feel. I think that's really what it is. It comes from the roster of the females who already been around.
Y'all, Jay-Zon, I'm a little worried. You like a little player over there. You talking like a little player, right? Then he got the fireplace glaring off his face. Ladies, watch out for this guy. He gonna get you in cuffing season real fast. He got the fireplace going.
Gotta stay warm.
He ready to go.
Do y'all think that there's a date for cuffing season? Like, okay, it's past the deadline. The deadline is December what? Like, what do y'all think that there's a time
after Halloween? Take your mask off.
Do y'all think it's a date though?
When it get warm outside, it's time to go. It's time to get back outside with my friends, hit the streets. Summer back. Everybody coming back from school. It's time. I don't have time to be in the house no more. So, anything after Valentine's Day, March, and after March, April, May, you start. Okay, it's warm out again.
After spring break, take a break.
I want to answer the love at first sight question. Personally, I don't believe in love at first sight. I don't think you can just love a person just by simply seeing them. So I don't think that can play a role in cuffing season, but I do think that like the love you have for their looks can be like what puts them on your top roster. You feel me? Like your top lineup. That could play a role.
Sounds like this roster thing is very interesting. I want to get a little bit more into this. I'm interested about this roster stuff, but I'm gonna let y'all move on to the next question. How many rosters do y'all have?
Hold on, I got a question about this roster. So we recycled this roster, right, for every cuffing season. It sounds like. So what if you go back to the roster, get someone you had for the last season, but this time you're like, ooh, something changed. I'm really feeling her, and you end up like really want to be with her, but she's not feeling you. Is that something that happens? And if so, like, how does that play out?
Sound like you just got to take the L. You got to suck it up. I don't know.
Yeah, at that point it's your fault.
Yeah, you kind of missed your window at that point. You know, if she was for you and you wasn't for her at that point, and now you try to spin the block and you for her now and she not for you, you kind of you lost your spot.
I saw
I gotta fight every night to prove my love.
I saw somebody ask, they said, can you cuff more than one person for cuffing season? And yes, I think you can. I feel like with you being single, every opportunity is open for you. And I think people take being single for granted, honestly, because once you're in a relationship, it's over. So, I mean, have fun while you can. That's how I feel about it.
I think that y'all too play for me. I mean, I don't know, multiple people is crazy because cuffing season isn't like that. That's not just your roster. You kicking it with everybody, whatever the case is. I mean, y'all ain't up. I feel like that's y'all too play for me.
So, Devin, I gotta ask you a question because in your stats earlier, you talked about monogamy. So you hear Nia talking about, single season, do what you want to do. But monogamy is on the fail in America, right? More people are moving away from monogamy, but it's still a large population of people who don't understand or agree. Do y'all feel like cuffing season is part of the new polyamorous and all that other stuff that's going on in the world? Or y'all just feel like it's just that?
I think it plays a role. It kind of, if you think about it, kind of is a form of I guess monogamy decreasing because people were talking like Nia just said, or Jason, you could talk to multiple people at one time. So, yeah, I think it does play a role. Someone else maybe can go a little bit deeper. I'm not too sure how exactly, but I think it does play a role.
Well, one of the things that I hear, they say a lot more men can serial date, a lot of women can't because of the emotional part, but in 2022, it seems to be more women serial date now. Is it because of the 30-to-1? Y'all feel like it's more single women than men, or vice versa? Y'all tell me.
I think it's because women are tired of being treated the way men treat them because men do it all the time. I think that's what it is. I feel like women feel like, why can the man do it and I can't? Why is it?
They fed up.
Exactly. Why is it acceptable for you? But then I date another person and all of a sudden I'm the devil. I feel like that's ridiculous. It is. That's why.
If you're paying attention, women are the new players. They sure are.
Oh yeah, pimping ain't easy.
That's true, but at some point, the fire on the firecracker is going to meet the wick, and it's going to explode in emotions. Most women can't handle that emotional trauma. Okay.
What was the analogy? Say it again.
The firecracker wick. You light it on this end, and everything is good, and then it gets to this part, and then it goes pow. A lot of emotions and things happen. I don't know if y'all can handle that.
I was watching this. I think it was a documentary or something I seen, and it basically gave the analogy that women can't serial date how men serial date because it's just not in their nature. And the reason that they said that they couldn't was because it gave the example of back in the day with cavemen and how a woman. So say there's one woman and there's 10 different cavemen. That woman is trying to pick the top tier man out of those 10 men who can provide for her, who can go out and get the food and the things that she would need to protect, provide. What are those 3 P's? Protect, provide. I forget. It was on another show, but
protect,
basically
provide, and
please,
yeah,
yeah, please. So basically, the woman can't really serial date because she's looking for
it was perform.
Yeah. So, what do y'all think about that? Y'all think that's true? Like women have different kind of objectives in nature to where they can't necessarily be with all these different men at one time because of those natural factors.
I think it's a small percentage of women out there that could do that and not have the type of emotions. But men are not emotionally tied sexually. Women are. So typically, if a woman has a lot of people she's dating, at some point, she's going to run into that curb of her emotions and it's going to mess everything up. That's just the way it is. There's a very small percentage of women. They call them something. What do they call them? I can't even think what they call them. Ladies of the night. I don't know. I don't know. Streetwalkers. I don't know. But it's very small percentage of them.
Yeah, I feel like that's not true. I feel like what Devin you're saying about women not being able to do that because of their nature, whatever. I feel like I personally, I'm not talking about myself, but I've seen, people that can have a roster that could, have from here to here and keep it up. It's not it's not getting messy. They're not getting attached. None of that stuff. It works. So I've seen firsthand people do it or women do it and it works. So I don't think that it's a nature thing.
I would have to agree, Kendall. And I think that when sex isn't involved with women, when they're doing that serial dating, it's easier for them to have multiple, men that they're seeing or women they're seeing.
So you agree that the sex is the problem, right? You say if they're not having sex, they can do it easier, right?
It's easier when sex isn't involved.
That's what I said. Just agree with me. Okay.
Why do y'all think women serial date though? Like I agree. I think a lot of women could do it, but if sex ain't involved, because I think women get a little touchy-feely at that point. You know what I mean? But like, why do you think women serial date though? You think just because men do it, you feel like women just want to do it because they have the freedom to do it?
I feel like some people just aren't ready to settle down, and that's okay. A lot of people don't want to settle down. Like I know women who don't want to get married. I know women who do. But I mean, it all depends on you and your values or beliefs, what you want to do.
Yeah, I agree with Nia. I think that most of the time it depends on the person and what stage in life they are. If you're at the stage in your life where you feel like I'm young, I don't need to be locked up in the house or doing X, Y, and Z. Like I want to experience other things. Then that's what they'll do. Or if you're at a stage in your life where it's like I've seen that, I've done that, I don't want that. Then you're gonna try to do the opposite. But I think serial dating is just because it depends on your mindset. Really, it depends on where you are in life and what you want to do.
So Kendall, in saying that during cuffing season, when you get out of cuffing season, are you getting a relationship? And now you're in a relationship. Do you have those cuffing season moments where like you might be with somebody, but then cuffing season come around, you like, do you have the urge, or like, you know what I mean?
I think that cuffing season isn't really a thing when you're in a relationship already. When you're in a relationship already, then you just do those wintertime things with the person that you're in a relationship with. So if April come and you're in a relationship, that's the person that you're with, then you should still be in that relationship up until the end of October, whatever the case is, and then you just watch the Christmas movies, do the matching pajamas, whatever the case is with that person. You don't switch it up. It's not like new season, new me. That's not it.
I gotta see this pajama, matching pajama things you're talking about. I think I see them around Christmas time, but yeah, I gotta see this pajama thing.
Hopefully you'll see it this year.
It's cuffing season. You never know. It might happen. All right.
What happens though if in the process of dating multiple people, you're not taking it serious, right? And because you're not taking it serious, you miss the certain signs of the qualities of the man that you really want, right? And then years go by, and by the time you realize it, a lot of these men are married now, right? Or they're not interested in you, right? Like what happens then? Because I've seen that, right? I've seen that, in my life. So what the whole concept behind dating multiple people, like how do you, at what point do you cut it off and say, okay, like, what are my goals in terms of having a family, right? A lot of y'all mentioned God and not burying people who are having kids with people who don't believe in God. So y'all got some substance to y'all, right? Like y'all have goals, y'all have a vision, right? So how does dating multiple people, and I'm not saying y'all doing it, but just the idea, right? How does that play into that?
I mean, it's kind of piggybacking off of what Ayana said. That's when you just sit back and take a moment, sit back and realize, like, maybe I should slow down and maybe I should really focus on what I need to do. Like, you missed a good opportunity, so you just gonna have to wait till another one shows up.
I agree. I think that in situations like that, you live and you learn. Everything is a lesson. Um, so if you can visibly see, okay, I messed up. I can see that if I would have done X, Y, and Z, it would have ended a certain way. Then next time it comes around, either the same person will come around, or in a different situation, a different relationship, you can just be better, do things differently.
Yeah.
Y'all might stone me, but I'm gonna be bold. Because it's situations, right, where and I've experienced this, right. It could be a girl. I was with a girl one time, and she spent a lot of her life just messing with multiple guys, going from here to there, and she had multiple abortions, and then when she got ready to really want to have a kid, she couldn't have one, right? Because she wasn't taking, her life in that way seriously. You know what I mean? And that's her, that's her business. I'm not judging her for it, but again, I kind of mentioned goals. So like, how does cuffing season, dating multiple people, and using that liberty, that's your freedom, right? But how does that play into your goals? Like, because 10 years will go by like this. It'll go by like this.
To answer your question, I really think that there's a difference between dating around and having sex with multiple people. I feel like there's a lot of men don't want somebody that they feel like everybody has or everybody has had, right? So I think that there's definitely a difference between getting to know multiple people at one time and you in the bed with everybody, you let everybody get X, Y, and Z. I feel like those are two separate things that shouldn't be put in the same category, if that makes sense. I just think that although sex does play a role in relationships, obviously, just because I talked to you, just because you even took me on a date, that doesn't mean that we had sex. That's not the same thing.
Devin, I gotta ask y'all this: body counts, do that matter during cuffing season? If her roster, she got too many bodies on the roster. Do we still cuff season with them? I need to know this stuff.
Yeah, that definitely matters. Safe sex is the best sex. So that matters whenever. Cuffing season, out of cuffing season, hot girl summer, hot boy summer, whatever you want to call it, it matters.
So what's the minimum? What's the max, Devin? If she got more than 5 bodies, does she get a cuffing season? Is it more than I don't know.
What's the minimum? What's the max?
really though, it really depends on like your age, your life experiences, how often you get tested, like your cleanliness with sexual activity, like those are the important factors that kind of play a role into body counts. So I'm gonna leave it at that.
I hate the double standard when it comes to body counts, because men can have this long list of body counts, but when it comes to women, we can only have 2. Well, according to John, I can only have 4. So why is it a double standard? I don't understand. Young ladies, what's the body count limit for men?
I personally don't care what you. Well, no, I'm not gonna say I don't completely care. I feel like once we're in a relationship, once I'm a part of the equation, all that other stuff, although it kind of matters a little bit, I'm not finna like, as long as you're honest, as long as you communicate, I'm not gonna be like, oh my God, I hate you. This is awful because of what you've done in the past. I feel like growth is a huge thing. And as long as you're not bringing me nothing, as long as you have gotten tested, as long as you're safe, as long as it's not no drama attached, I feel like the body count conversation is just something that I want to know, but I'm not going to necessarily judge you off of.
So Kendall, if somebody meets you and he say, I had about 100 sex partners, you okay with that?
No, we're too young for 100 sex partners. We're too young, personally. That's extreme, and I ain't never been in that situation. And that would be the situation to where it's like, okay, keep it cute. So I feel like that's irregular, though. No.
I have met a boy a couple years ago. Mind you, I was in high school. I met a boy. He had like exact numbers, so I knew he wasn't lying. He said about 54, 53. He couldn't pinpoint exactly what it was. And I'm like, really? Like, that's crazy to me. But I feel like if I come across somebody, I wouldn't really care too much about a body count, but it can't be extreme, you know, like at a certain point you're doing too much. I can tolerate it to a certain extent. As long as you take care of yourself, you take, the right precautions, like Kendall said, get tested and whatnot. But you can't be the man on the streets for everybody. I don't want it.
So men shouldn't tell you about their whole phase. Just tell them about the relationship. They them body counts, the relationship body counts, not the whole phase, huh?
But at the same
That's not
time,
what it said.
hold on. In college, everybody is in everybody's face. So I feel like I need to know only because I don't want to be in old girl face and we kikiing and laughing and X, Y, and Z and you ain't told me and she know about me, but I don't know about her. I feel like that's a conversation that we need to have, not because I want to know about the number or because I'm going to judge you. It's just I want to be aware so that I'm not the one looking dumb. People, she laughing at me and I don't even know what's going on.
So Kendall, if old girl dating multiple dudes, is she gonna tell him about the other dudes she talking to?
I think everything goes both ways. If why are you shaking your head? Everything goes both ways. If I want honesty and communication from that person, then I can't expect that without giving the same thing. So if that's a conversation that we have, it would be real awkward if he sit and tell me everything and then be like, "How about you?" And I'm like, "Well, Jesus." Like I feel like that's awkward,
So Kendall, so when I go back and get baptized, can I start over? Do my body count start over? Because I've given all my past to God.
No, you don't. You don't start over.
There's no reset button, okay?
Oh man, dang! I want to be a virgin again.
Well, that's too bad. You shouldn't have to do what you was doing.
I think it is a double standard though, and it's just like that because we have different parts. To answer your question, Ayana, that's why you can't be as a woman with 100 if your body count is 100 and then a man's body count is 100. I just feel like that's two different things going on here.
How?
You have different this is how I feel about it. You have a different body part that provides a different service. It's supposed to be, I feel like your body parts should be protected, with upheld with the most respect, and it's supposed to be like your treasure, right? Am I wrong?
So that's not your treasure?
Why are you giving out your coins to the whole city? I'm not understanding.
So I'm confused though. Why we gotta treasure? Or I treasure myself. That's not what I'm saying. But y'all don't treasure yourselves. It's just us that have to treasure ourselves.
We do. We just do it in a different way.
We got treasure and they got community, DICK. That's
clearly community, like the announcements.
Well, the cuffing season conversation has just got real, y'all. Right before it's time to get out of here. Well, all I can say is definitely the body counts do matter. So yeah, if you've been pushing those 30s plus, you might want to hang up your jersey and retire. I don't know.
And I feel like it can also be looked at as like a kind of like a character flaw. Like if you're just giving yourself away, and not even just sexually, but like physically, emotionally, if you're giving yourself away to everybody, then it's just, is there any value in you if everybody can have it? You know what I mean? So
and I kind of feel the same way as far as vice versa, not necessarily in that sense, but if it's too easy, I feel like if it's easy for me, then it's easy for everybody else. That's something that I take into consideration, even though what you're doing with everybody else shouldn't matter too much. If it's easy for me, that means it's easy for her, and then that opens up the door for her, and her. And that's
I don't think that's true. We are in California. We're in a state that recycle. Recycling is a good thing.
They don't recycle in Louisiana.
No, that's not a good thing. And when someone is so easily giving themselves freely, I feel like it's always a deeper issue when someone is doing that. So I don't know whether it's self-esteem, whether it's some type of sexual abuse. So that's like even a whole nother conversation. But when someone is freely doing that, it opens up a door for a whole nother conversation.
I have a question. So I know when people get into relationships, they kind of lose track of things, especially like during the honeymoon phase. They have, okay. My question is, do you neglect your friends during a relationship? Or how do you balance it? I should say.
You neglect your friends always. Because
John,
your friends is always going to be there. Your real friends are always going to be there. They understand you in the honeymoon stage. They're going to be okay with that, right?
No, that's bad advice.
Advice. Debbie, you could go.
I think that now, okay, I'm not saying that your friends should come before your significant other, or I'm not saying it should be 50-50 either, but there definitely has to be a balance of you shouldn't. I've seen relationships where they get into these relationships and they literally cut off everyone, and then when that relationship is going through a hard time, or you need to lean on a friend for something, you're calling your friend, but where were you when you first got into a relationship? You know what I mean? Like you can't just cut them off and run back to them when things get hard. So that's why I think it's good to have balance in a relationship with your friends as well. And these are, and another perspective is to just add to it is that when you're looking at relationships, your friendships are still a type of relationship. You know what I mean? So you have to value those in a way, not the same way as a romantic relationship, but they're still important to your life. You still need friends just as much as you need your partner. So it's a balance.
So let me rephrase it, Devin. Okay, when I get in a relationship, my male friends, we always good. But my lady friends, I got to let them know. We can't be friends right now. You got to be cool. You got to respect this. Because it's going to be a problem. And I don't want to have to make a decision between the person I'm talking to and my friends. So you got to let them go. And if they love you and they say they're your friend, it shouldn't be a problem.
I also think
I kind of agree to an extent. I'm not gonna lie, I agree to an extent.
And I think that there's a difference between having friends that are, when you're in a relationship, having other friends in relationships and having single friends while you're in a relationship, because it's not going to be the same type of environment. I feel like maybe y'all could either double date, or when you guys do stuff together, you do stuff together. And then when you branch off and both go with your boyfriends or whatever the case is, no hard feelings. We both got somewhere to go. But, if it's the case where you're leaving your friend to go with your significant other or whatever, and you were supposed to be doing something with your friend, or you're neglecting your friend because of somebody else, I feel like that's where it gets a little stickier.
But Kendall, for men, I don't know if for women it's different, but for men, you have to do that, because a friend is somebody that's going to be there for you even when you wasn't in that relationship. So your friend's going to know a lot about you. So if you dated somebody, that's always going to be a problem, because that person that you with is going to feel like they don't know everything that your friend gonna know. So it's going to cause some kind of conflict. You know what I mean?
So what happens when you get it? You have this friend, this real good friend, best friend, whatever. Then you get in a relationship and you completely stop talking to the friend. You don't go out with the friend. You, my man all the time. And then y'all break up. And then you want to go back to being cool with the friend. Doesn't that friend not feel like, you could just get in another relationship and then forget about him again? What's the difference?
No, it's not like that. No, I'm talking about my buddies. The males, it don't matter, right? But I'm talking about my lady friends. Because I'm like, my lady friends, they know, because we've been friends forever. So I say, hey, I'm in this relationship. I can't, even though I know it's nothing, was platonic, it's nothing between us.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
I don't put those problems, and they respect that. They like, hey, do your thing. I'll check in every once in a while, but I'm about to step out of the picture while you in this situation, because until they feel comfortable to be like on that level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like although you should have, you should be able to have friends, there's a line, and you're supposed to be respecting your relationship. So I agree with what you're saying for sure.
I agree too, and it helps when you're like, say my girlfriend. It helps when my girlfriend knows my other lady friends, so she knows, like, what type of time they on. It's not on no other type of time, so that helps a little bit.
I think what also helps is when that man makes that girlfriend or wife, whoever, feel secure about that relationship they have with their girlfriend.
Yeah, that's true, because trust is a big thing. So if you don't trust your significant other anyway, around whoever. So that could play a bigger role. So you're right. Yeah, trust is probably the number one first.
If I'm really feeling a girl, I'm gonna bring my female partners around. I want them to fill her out. You know what I mean? But also I want to know if they could be cool. You know, because I kind of look at relationships like you manage it, like you're managing relationships. You know what I mean? Whether it's your male partners, your female partners, your significant other, you managing relationships. So it's kind of like you got to be mindful of the people that you have in your life and how they are. And you know, for some people that might be thinking a lot, but I just kind of am. I kind of just know, okay, I'm not the kind of a person. Because when I was younger, I was kind of like that. I was a dude in the hallway kissing on my girlfriend, and I wouldn't talk to nobody till basketball practice. I don't even know you. You feel me? I'm in the hallway macking. You feel me? But like, I got older and I realized you kind of have balance, and people do get their feelings hurt, you know, and it's good to try to incorporate both of those worlds together, you know, if it could work.
You got some living to do, AR. You gotta do some living. You get that girl that's a little bit better than your girl, she gonna have some issues. I'm just telling you.
I agree with you though. I feel like it also is definitely about managing. It's definitely about managing. I just think that sometimes it's better to keep. You can manage it. Y'all could, mix sometimes, but at the end of the day, mixing all the time is not going to be good, because then that's when the friends want to have something to say about the relationship, and then it gets a little messier. So I've learned that keeping one and one separate, and then maybe mixing sometimes, to where they're cordial, like each other. They could even call each other friends, but not like too close.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think all the time either. I just think it's easier for me, as like I want to manage everything. That's kind of how I am. So it's easier for me to know that when she calls, like Devin said, she not on the other stuff. She like, okay, this is my partner. Oh, tell one so and so I said what's up, right? Like, and it's good. Like, so we know, like, whether they're in a relationship or not. You know what I mean? Hey, but hey, John, I didn't have female partners that was better than the. That do cause issue, because they be always looking over their shoulder, always.
Exactly. And then you got to worry about, even as your friend, right? Sometimes your friend call you, y'all friends. So sometimes y'all say little jokes and shit that's friends. Then next thing you know, your girl tripping. Oh, why she say that? What's that all about? See, because then it's like, that's just my friend. That's how we talk, right? So it always be a problem. So you just got to always, have those friends where you can just say, listen, take a break. I'll catch you on the run. All right. Yeah. After cuffing season.
Hey, what type of friends do y'all think y'all are to your friends who are in relationships? Because I know I'm the type of friend, like, I don't want to even really get involved with y'all arguments. Don't ask me my opinion on what y'all got going on. I'm gonna just try to let y'all figure it out. And because I feel like once you involve me, and it's like I give my opinion, then it's it just create more conflict. So what type of friends are y'all to the people that are in relationships?
Devin, stay out the cat fights. Okay, I can give you the best advice. Stay out the cat fights.
Don't even give up. I already learned. And then to make it worse, they argue. They do. I've seen relationships where they do the worst stuff, and then they get back together.
Yep. They get you all worked up, and you be mad. They be like, "Oh, girl, let's go have some coffee." There, you be like.
I'm the friend. Well, first of all, I'm the friend who used to get dragged into stuff. Like, they would ask me my perspective on the situation, and I wouldn't want to give it. And it was a lot. But yeah, like Devin said, I'm the type of friend to just stay out of things. But even when my friends do get into relationships, I'm always here. I could say, like, nothing. Just because you got into a relationship, nothing is going to change, or our relationship isn't going to change either. Oh.
Well, this cuffing season conversation has been very, very educational for me. I've learned a couple things today. I'm going to get me a roster list. I'm going to the store and find out where's the roster list at. I'm going to set up my roster with my NDRs, my non-disclosures, and I'm going to start with the favorite to the left. This is what I learned from the young people. Don't tell me you can't learn from the young people, okay? Get a roster. I'm setting my roster up today. Let's go. Team Henry. All right. With that being said, listen, it is 5:45. Y'all know we got 15 more minutes. I want to go ahead and start closing out today's conversation. Community, I hope y'all been enjoying today's conversation. Our youth has brought another perspective about an understanding of a season called cuffing. Okay, it's any time after Halloween to February 14th, after Valentine's Day. And then a new season starts. Hi, girls, I don't know. But I've learned something today. Start a roster. Okay, the most important thing is start a roster. And also make sure you start cuffing season before the holidays so you don't have to buy anything. That's a good game. I learned something today. All right. With that being said, we're going to close out today's show. I want to give you all some parting words. My young people, give the elders in the community something that they need to know, because obviously it's more elders in situationships in cuffing season, and they don't know how to get out of it. So y'all give them some encouragement words today so that they know how to get out of cuffing season, okay? Cuffing season, all right? With that being said, we'll go to you, Nia, then Kendo, AR, Devin, and then Ayana. And then the bishop is going to give a benediction before we close out today's show. The bishop is back. Let's go, Nia.
Well, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Whoever did tune in, it's been a fun show. Parting words, I mean, just have fun, especially if you're young. Just have fun. Yeah, that's it. Thank you guys.
Nia, what about the elders? Give the elders something for
Done. I can't say much to y'all. Y'all want to settle down, y'all do that.
All right, Kendo.
Thank y'all for tuning in. Join us. What is our next show? Join us for our next show after the holiday break. Thanks for coming. New Year's show. But yeah, I would just tell y'all communication is key for show. Make sure you talk about what this is, what's the vibe, what's going on. Can we agree on something specific during cuffing season? But yeah, thank y'all for coming.
And stay away from those Geminis. All right, brother AR.
I appreciate y'all having me. I was gonna say communication. Just be very open and transparent about what you want, and then respect what the response is. And go from there.
All right, be open and transparent. Just tell them you want 10 wives, and if they don't agree, let them go. All right, brother Devin, go ahead, brother Devin.
What's going on, y'all? Thank y'all for joining. Thank you to our guests who were on. My parting words for the youth is honesty is the best policy. And like AR said, communication. For the elderly community, keep living. You'll figure it out. I feel like honesty is still the best policy, but you might want to hurry it up a little bit more. And yeah, so I love everybody. Thank y'all for joining. See you on the next show.
And if you with Devin, no yiking, okay? No yiking with Devin, okay? No yiking. He ain't with the yiking, all right? All right, Ayana, my co-host, doing the most. My twin to the end. What's going on, twin?
Yes, well, today was such an amazing conversation. Youth, I'm so proud of you all. Thank you for educating us on cuffing. My parting words for today would just be to be safe. When you're cuffing, just be safe, get tested, and don't get with any psychos or any crazy people, okay? Just be safe.
All right, thank y'all. Now, it is time for the bishop to give a benediction, because today's conversation has been very, 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 very real. So, with that being said, I got my towel, y'all. I'm ready to give a benediction for my young people today and to the community. The parting words before you leave the bishop today. All right, we talked about cuffing season, a time of the year where sometimes folks are dealing with anxiety, depression. Maybe they are lonely. It's cold outside. The heater's not working. Maybe they just need somebody next to them. They calling that the cuffing season. In cuffing season, there's rules. There's barriers and there's boundaries that's put up during the cuffing season. You have to follow the rules if you want to make it past the cuffing season. But in that time, you must fall in line. If you don't fall in line, you might get left behind. Cuffing season is a short period. It is after Halloween, after you take your mask off, after the trick-or-treating and the sweets are gone. It is the time through Valentine's to have some time together in cuffing season. The sun goes down early. The temperature gets cold. The fireplaces are brewing. Things are happening. In that time of cuffing, there's a lot of loving. There's a lot of communication. There's a lot of understanding that sometimes might come to an ending, but it is cuffing season. This is the time we talk about building love, building understanding. The traditional ways of relationships and dating have changed. As you've heard from our young people, it's a new day. It's a new time. There's a new understanding. And sometimes you have to have a roster to find that, what you're looking for. Sometimes it's 2 rosters. Some is in the game and some is on the bench. I don't know. This is what the young people tell me. I learned something today. I'm going to find my roster. I'm going to name it Team Henry. Let me get my starting 5 and see how it's going to work for me during cuffing season. It is cold out there. It's been raining all day in the Bay Area. I don't know. I'm going to start the fireplace. I'm going to check the roster and see if somebody's going to have marshmallows and hot chocolate with the bishop today. But we're going to keep pushing through because it's all about connecting community. That's what we're here for, connecting the community. It was a great conversation. It was powerful. Our young people have given you their life experience and their understanding of what it takes to connect. Sometimes to connect, you have to correct certain things. If your body count is too high, you might get the fly. You might not get an opportunity. So try to keep your body count low. Y'all heard from Devin. Value the most precious things that you have, and that's your integrity. That's your holy space of yourself, your mind. Don't lose it behind trying to be a part of cuffing season. Stay holy. And also, when you're in a relationship, understand the boundaries. Don't be in the club yiking and doing the things that you need to do. Don't be calling people, misleading them with information that they don't know. Be honest and open. Keep the transparency and things will get great. It's going to be a cold night tonight. It was a song once that said, when it's lonely now, wait until tonight. I'll keep my day job. But again, it's going to be some lonely nights tonight. Be careful who you call because you might get caught up in cuffing season. This has been a great conversation. The bishop have gave you the benediction. We love y'all so much. Be safe out there. Make sure you wear your jimmies, okay, brothers? Don't be getting no young lady pregnant during cuffing season, all right? And when Valentine's Day come around, buy some roses. Be a gentleman, all right? With that being said, that is the benediction. Every time we have a conversation, it's always fun. It's always love. I hope you got something out there, community. I hope your roster is full because I got to start my roster. But we're going to get ready to get out of here. Our next live show, y'all, is this Tuesday. All right. This is our Hidden Gem segment. Every Tuesday, we highlight Black and brown businesses. We uplift community leaders and folks that are doing positive things in our community. It's a different show than this cuffing season conversation. It's about empowering our businesses and our community leaders and folk that are doing some amazing things. So I hope you get to join us. And if that is you out there, you have a business that you want to promote, reach out to us at both sides of the conversation. Go to our website. It's up on the screen. And join one of our Hidden Gem segments so we can highlight your business and highlight the work you're doing. And then we're going to have an Educational Thursday next Thursday. All right. I won't be here. All right. Y'all won't see me. Or maybe y'all will see me on Thursday, but y'all won't see me next Sunday. Hopefully Tony will be back or Ayana will be holding down the fort because I'll be out of town blessing the people. All right. That's what I do. But we're looking forward to seeing y'all. Stay connected. For all the new followers today that's been watching, messaging, go to all our social media handles at both sides of the conversation. We on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We all over the place. We there. Just look up both sides of the conversation and tap in with us. To all the community folks, tap in for all of the many community resources that's going out. Check out our Instagram and our Facebook. We are posting all the events. There are some community organizations that are impacting the community and will be impacting the community as well, giving out toys, helping families out. We'll be sharing that information. Get to one of these free events. Go to the Winter Wonderland this coming up weekend. Get to the Baby Opera House. They're giving away toys and gifts to help out our families because we know a lot of folks are being impacted. So check out both sides of the conversation so we can update you with all the upcoming information, all the events that's going on. And then look, our bowling event is coming up. We are still looking for sponsors. We are looking for people that want to help support. Our second annual bowling event is coming up President's Day weekend. Check our social media house. Check our newsletter. We're going to be sending you out the information. If you would like to sponsor and see some of these amazing youth that's going to come in and check out our team, come to our bowling event. It's going to be popping, y'all. We're going to have a great time out there. It's going to be a hit, and I hope y'all get to join and be a part of it. With that being said, it is cold outside. It is raining, okay? To all of the community in the Bay Area, listen to me real quick. Drive a little slower, okay? We've been having more and more accidents the last couple of days. Look like we got rain in the forecast all throughout the week. So drive safe. Take your time out there. Our young babies are still going to school. When it's raining outside, it's harder to stop. Do your part. Slow down. It's not summertime, okay? Slow down. It's harder to stop in the rain. And again, check on your loved ones. It's cold. These nights, in the next couple of weeks, supposed to get out into the low 30s. Please bring your pets in the house. Be smart and bring your pets in the house. And again, it's cuffing season. Find you somebody to lay next to keep you warm, especially if the heater is not working, okay? And then to all of our other youth guests that had to jump off, shout out to them. Phenomenal young folks, Jay-Zon and Taylor Made and the rest of the folks that came on today. We appreciate y'all for tuning in, and we'll see y'all this Tuesday for another segment of our Hidden Gems at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. With that being said, good night now. Go start your rosters up. Stay low. It's cuffing season.